The sweat is like dripping off of me right now. It is way too hot to be filming without my AC on, but here we are. Hi besties, and welcome back to Sustainability Sunday. I don't know about where y'all live, but here we've had a heat wave going, and it's been a time. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have some very controversial opinions on what is more sustainable in the summer. I know y'all love controversial opinions. I know I love controversial opinions. Let's start with one that's not actually super controversial, and it's something I kind of do all year long, and I'm doing it right now. The only light on in my home right now is my ring light as I'm filming this. I don't turn on the lights. They put out heat. There's no reason for them if you can still see. Once the sun goes down and it's getting dark, yeah, turn on lights. Or I have terrible vision, and I don't always wear these glasses when I'm home because these glasses are about 15 years old, I want to say, so I definitely need a new prescription, so I sometimes get headaches from them. So if I'm just hanging out at home, I'm not going to wear them. But then if I'm watching TV, I can't always tell what's happening on screen, so sometimes I need to turn on the light. If it's that type of situation, fine. But other than that, I'm not turning on the lights at home, not till the sun goes down. I'm gonna have all the blinds open. This one I already know is very controversial, but hear me out and then you'll agree once you hear my reasoning. I turn the air conditioner first thing in the morning. Now I have a big dining room / kitchen combo that opens up to the living room. Like there's a half wall between it. There's a wall, but it's only a half wall. We have our AC in the window right against the dining room into living room half wall. That's the only actual real AC that we have. I turn that on first thing in the morning, especially during a heat wave. It is easier to cool the house first thing in the morning and then keep it cool throughout the rest of the day versus waiting until it's 90 something degrees and then turning on the AC. I'd rather turn on the AC when it's still in like the 70s, get it to a cool temp, and the AC just keeps it cool. I know that sounds absolutely wild saying turn the AC first thing in the morning. You're gonna say, oh, that's not sustainable. It literally is so much more sustainable to cool the house more when it's already cool and then to keep it cool than it is to cool it from a higher temp. But going off of that, we have one AC. We have tower fans. We have a tower fan in the living room. If it's getting really hot, like those 100-degree days, we'll have 2 tower fans in the living room. We have a tower fan in the bedroom, which again, for a 100-degree day, we'll bring the tower fan from the living room into the bedroom. We got 2 tower fans. Depending on where we are and how hot it is, we'll move them around. We also have ceiling fans in the dining room and the bedroom. We rely on our fans a lot. They use a lot less energy, and honestly, most of the time they do a great job. However, in my office is ungodly temperatures. It's extra hot during the summer, extra cold during the winter. When we first moved in, we were warned that the previous tenants said there was no heat in that room, so I have a space heater for the winter. But on a Buy Nothing group on Facebook, someone had a portable AC. We got it for the living room, but then it wouldn't fit in the living room window. It's not a window unit, it's one of those actual portable ACs, but it has vents to go in the window. That lives in my office now. I'll turn it on when I go into my office if I'm gonna be in there for a substantial amount of time. If not, I leave it alone. I don't turn that on if I'm not gonna be in my office for a while. But if I am, I'll turn on the AC. It's a portable AC, it's better. Going off of that as well, the door to my office is closed if I'm not in there. Part of the reason is so Pip doesn't get into it. I'm not gonna lie, Pip is not allowed in my office. But closing doors to rooms that don't need to be cooled is a way to keep the cool where it should be and use up less energy. We have a storage room directly down the hall from our window unit AC. We close the door of the storage room so that that's not being cooled. But the exact opposite of that, normally we close off our bathroom because Pip likes to lick shampoo bottles for some reason. I don't ask questions. We leave that open during the heat because that way the air just goes right back and forth. Because we tried leaving it closed and it felt like a sauna. I will say, I care more about my cat's comfort than my own during the summer, and especially during the heat wave. I myself will be perfectly fine just wearing like a crop top and shorts. Yes, I might be sweating a little. That's fine. I'm sweating a little bit right now because yes, I had the AC going. I had to turn it off for this video. One thing I have done for Pip. This is a gel ice pack. I got it at one point when I hurt my neck. I don't know what I did to my neck, but I couldn't turn my neck at one point. I got this for that. It's been sitting in my freezer since. And you know what I do for Pip? I lay down a blanket, I put this down, I put blanket, this, fold the blanket over it. She lays right on top of it and it cools her right off. 10 out of 10 would recommend getting some type of ice packs for your pets during the heat if you don't want to be blasting the AC constantly. Even if you do, during the heat wave, worry about your pets first. Get them some type of cooling pack. Oh, but how is that sustainable? Because A, I'm not blasting the AC directly on her, and B, I'm not going out and buying something new to cool off my cat. It's something I already have in my freezer. I feel like most people have some type of ice pack, be it one of those gel packs for injuries, be it just normal ones to throw in a cooler. Most people have some type of ice pack. This one I know for sure is super controversial, but you don't need to go out and buy bottled lemonade or bottled iced tea. You don't need to. If you don't want to make it from scratch, that's fine. Trust me when I say, I am lazy. Sustainability Sundays is about being more sustainable without altering your lifestyle. It's totally fine if you don't want to make it from scratch. Buy the powder mix. That's what we do. My fiance especially has very strong feelings on lemonade. He loves the Newman's lemonade. We'll buy bottles of it if he can. But he knows that we're more sustainable. So instead, he buys the powdered lemonade mix. And he tells me all the time, he's like, is it as good as the Newman's? No, but it hits the spot when I want lemonade. How is that more sustainable? The only plastic that you're using is in one little tub of powder versus each bottle being more plastic that you're going through. Plus, honestly, it's also more cost effective, and that technically is also more sustainable if you want to get into it. I am very anti-pool. I'm very much pro sprinkler. Sprinklers a lot more sustainable than filling a pool in your yard. Even a kiddie pool is more sustainable. And honestly, nothing slaps the same as inflating a kiddie pool and just laying in a kiddie pool. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, a kiddie pool is like my dream. But the important thing to keep in mind is that with a kiddie pool, if you get one and you fill one and you lay in that to just sit in the sun but also relax in the cold water, when you're done with that, please drain the water into plants somehow. I'm sure that most people that have a yard where they can set up a kiddie pool have some type of shrubbery in that yard. A lot of areas do have public pools and public splash pads for kids though. So that is something to keep in mind. If you are a pool person and you don't have one, a lot of areas do have public pools, especially splash pads for kids. So if you get a kid, Google the public places. Y'all are gonna hate that I bring this up. Owalas and Stanleys. It's their time to shine. Don't get me wrong. I love a good water bottle. I love any water bottle, but Owalas and Stanleys and the ones that are supposed to keep your drinks cold for like 3 straight days in the heat, this is their time to shine. You fill that bad boy up with ice, you fill that bad boy with cold water or liquid IV. I'm a big fan of electrolytes. I have pots, I need electrolytes. You fill that bad boy with water and or electrolytes and you bring that with you wherever you go. You don't need to be getting a cold drink wherever you are when you're out. Bring one with you in some type of cup or water bottle or something that will actually keep it cold. Not so much during the heat wave, but in general, ride your bike. It's summer. You're supposed to be outside. You're supposed to be having fun. The weather, when we're not in a heat wave, is so nice. If you can ride your bike instead of driving, do it. This is what it's made for. Go outside. Go explore in nature. Again, I know this is controversial, but if you know that you're gonna like spend the day at a beach or spend the day out somewhere, bring a cooler with food. If you're going to an amusement park or a theme park, which I know a lot of people do around Massachusetts this time of year, for example, bring lunch in a cooler and keep it in the car. Oh, why would I do that? When the amusement park that I'm going to, I can get lunch there and I don't need to leave. Do you know how expensive food is at a theme park? Or you could walk to your car, get the food in the cooler, eat that food, and walk back into the park and not be spending any extra money. I'm sorry, but to me, that's a no-brainer. It's more sustainable. You're using the food that you already have, and you're not spending all that money on overpriced theme park food. And then probably the last hot take that I have, I use my crock pot a lot during the heat wave. I've heard a lot of people say, absolutely not, no cooking during the heat wave, like microwave or cold foods only, like it's too much. I use my crock pot. I will not turn on my oven mid-heat wave. That is a very big thing for me because it gets so hot that the AC is working overtime trying to cool it back down, and it doesn't work. I will not use my oven. I'll cook on the stove, but I'll be breaking a sweat. I'll use my air fryer, but the crock pot is the way to go. I'll put something in there, turn the crock pot on low, leave it on all day. It's great, it's perfect. It does the cooking for you, and you're not freaking out because of heat. Can you tell I'm melting currently a little bit because I had to turn off the AC for this video? Because that AC is so loud, which is another point. You don't need to buy a new AC every year. I will say window units are significantly more sustainable than central air, but we can get into that on a totally different day. I know some people that every year, oh, I need to go buy a new air conditioner. No. The air conditioner that we have now, I'm 98% sure came with the apartment. I'm 98% sure. I could be wrong, but I'm 98% sure this came with the apartment. The air conditioner I had before I moved here was in my window for almost 10 years. You don't need to replace your air conditioner every year. And you don't need an air conditioner in every room. Again, fans work perfectly fine. Just make sure you get a powerful enough one. I'm a big fan of the Drio fans, by the way. Not Spawn, but like, I've got 3 of them. Oh, I have 3 fans, not 2, duh. I got 2 of them at the thrift store, and they work great, by the way. But you don't need to just go out and buy a new Energy Star AC because, oh, it's more efficient. No, your old AC is perfectly fine. It's honestly more wasteful to get rid of your current AC to get a new one just because it's more Energy Star efficient. Keep your old one, clean the filter, then it'll be colder. It could be extra. I could tell y'all, make your own popsicles, make your own ice cream. Don't go out and buy any frozen treats because you can do it yourself. But that's stupid. That is taking enjoyment away from people. Like, yes, I say make your own lemonade, but you still go and buy the powder. It's not making it from scratch. Totally different ballgame. I'm not gonna lie, there's nothing I enjoy more in the summer than taking frozen fruit and using that as ice cubes, for example. Is that technically more sustainable? Yes. Is that a hot take? I don't think so. I don't think that that's controversial. I used to always put frozen peach slices in my peach wine. I think that was just a brilliant idea. I am literally the Wicked Witch of the West in Wizard of Oz right now. I am melting. All right, y'all. I love you, but it's way too hot for me to continue this video right now. And I don't think that I have many more controversial takes. Who knows though? I could say something that I think isn't controversial and y'all come at me sideways. I don't know. But on that note, I'm starting to get a heat rash right now. So I'm going to end this video so that I can go and blast my air conditioner again, because I can feel the rash starting and I think I see it in the viewfinder as well. That is not fun. I'm gonna go and try to cool off a little bit. What are your most controversial summer sustainability hacks? Because I would love to know. I love hearing people's controversial opinions. I really, really do. Let me know down below. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you are not already subscribed, and hit the bell to turn on notifications. Otherwise, YouTube will never tell you when I post. It is a little bit broken like that. I post new videos every Sunday, Wednesday, and alternating Mondays and Fridays. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
I don't know, but I've been told the world outside is oh so cold. So cold.